Hello, this is Mr. Agbamu Idonogrene. You are welcome to our last lesson for the week, area and perimeter of triangle and trapezium. This is the last session of our area and perimeter in this lesson. We are not going to look at kite and rhombus. That will be for JH2 class. So we are stopping at triangle and perimeter. Then next week we look at curve shape, which is circle, area and perimeter of circle. All right, let's go straight to today's lesson. In today's lesson, we are looking at the formulas for calculating area and perimeter of triangle and trapezium. And we are going to solve simple problems using the stated formula. All right, that is that. So let's start with correction of yesterday's classwork. So this morning we were not able to meet in class. Most of us could not meet because of the program we had in class. So you can just go through the correction here. On Monday, I'll start from here as well, then continue with the lesson. Okay, let's look at the first question. It said the perimeter of a parallelogram is 40 centimeter. When you see a question like this, the first thing that should come to your mind is how does the shape of a parallelogram look like? Remember, we have already sketched it. Say parallelogram have parallel sides, something like this, something like this. You can just make a rough sketch in your note before you solve. You said this opposite side, they are parallel and equal. The opposite side, they are parallel and equal. Something like this. Now, in this question, they said the perimeter is 40. So take note of that. You can just write your P equals to 40. That is 40 centimeter. All right. So if that is the perimeter, what next? You now said if one side is 12 centimeter. So you can pick any of the side. I can pick this side to be 12. So if this side is what I pick to be 12, that means this other side must be 12. Remember the properties of parallelogram. Opposite sides are equal and parallel. That means these two sides, they are equal and they are also parallel. All right, so that is that. Now, if one side is 40, what did they say we should find? Say find the length of the other side. So how do we get the length of these other two sides? I can give them a letter. I can call this side L and call this side L. So by having this understanding, we can solve this. Remember, we said perimeter is the distance around the shape. So in this case, our perimeter is going to be 12 plus 12, L plus L. So which is going to be 12 plus 12, then plus, I'm going to add the other two lengths as well, L plus L. So you must add the four lengths of the shape parallelogram for you to get the perimeter. So if this is the formula for the perimeter, so let's substitute now. They say perimeter is 40. That means you will say 40 is equals to the total sum of all the length, which is 12 plus 12. So 12 plus 12 plus L plus L. So that is that. Okay, by doing this, you know how to collect like terms. We say L cannot be added to 12, so you add L to L, which is 2L. Then 12 plus 12 will give us 24, and that will be 24 in this place. Now I'm just solving simple equation now. That is what I'm solving. So that is 40 equals to 24. Then L plus L will give us 2L. So that is 2L. Take note of that. Now 2L cannot be added to 24 because they are not like terms. So what am I going to do? Let me do it on this side. So I will have 40 now. 40 is now going to be equals to, okay, let me erase this. That means I'll collect my like terms. That means 24 is crossing over to the other side of the equation. So when positive 24 cross over, it becomes negative 24. So it now be 40 minus 24. And this will be equals to the 2L. So now 40 minus 24, this will give us 16. Let's see. Yes, this will give us 16, which is equals to 2L. Then the next thing is to divide both sides by 2. You know how to solve our equation, which is 16 divided by 2, and that will be equals to what? L. So 16 divided by 2 will give us what? Will give us 8. So the first question, our answer is 8 centimeter. So take note, first is to put your formula for perimeter. Since the question is talking about perimeter, put your formula for perimeter, which is P is equal to total sum of all the side, length of all the side, which is 12 plus 12 plus L plus L. Then L plus L is 2L. 12 plus 12 is 24. Then collect like terms. When 24 crosses over, it becomes negative, which is 40 minus 24, 16. Then divide both sides by 2. 16 divided by 2 gives 8. So that is the first answer to this class work, the correction. Then the next one, which is the number 2, this one is a simple one as well. This one gave the base and the height. So this one is direct formula. So I don't really need to sketch. Just use the direct formula of parallelogram, which is base times height. This one is a simple one. So the base of this question is 12. So I can say my area is equals to 12, which is the base. Then the height is what? The height is 7, which is 7. And just multiply 12 times 7 will be what now? So 12 times 7 should give us 84. So 12 times 7 should give us 84. Remember, this is area, so your unit will take a square, which is 24 centimeter square. So take note of this. Alright, so that is the answer to question number 2. The parallelogram has a base of 12 and a height of 7. Find the area. So area of parallelogram is base times height. So base is 12, height is 7. So just times it and get your answer 84. So that is all with number 2. Number 3 is very easy. So looking at correction of the assignment, the first one is saying we should, the first one is similar to this one we just did. It's similar to this number 1. That is, the perimeter of a parallelogram is 50. If one side is 10 centimeter, now say we should find the length of the other side. So the same thing with what we did in the classwork. So if you sketch the parallelogram, something like this, you will see that one opposite side are equal and parallel. Don't forget that that is the major property of parallelogram. Opposite sides are equal. They are also parallel. So since the perimeter is 50, according to this one, the perimeter is 50. So what will you do now? Keep one of the side. They say one side is 10. If I choose this side to be the 10, that means the other opposite side there is going to be 10. So that is 10 centimeter. So if this two side is 10 centimeter, that means this other two side is going to be the length. So that is the length of the other two sides. So if you start from the perimeter is 50. Remember the formula of perimeter. We say add all the length of the side, which is length 1 plus length 2, L plus L, then 10 plus 10. So this is the formula of perimeter. So 10 plus 10. By the time you add all the length, you collect your like terms and your work will be over. So this will now be equals to what? L plus L will give us 2L. Remember your algebra. Then 10 plus 10 will give us 20. Then collect your like term. 20 will cross over, and this is positive 20. When it crosses over, it becomes negative, which is 50 minus 20. And that will be equals to what? 2L. So if I finish it on this corner, so 50 minus 20 will give us 30, which is equals to 2L. And the next thing is to divide both sides by 30. So 30 divided by, divide both sides by 2, not 30. If you divide both sides by 2, that will give us our answer for L. And 30 divided by 2 will give us 15. Don't forget, this is area. You must put square on the unit. So 15 centimeter. Okay, no, this is not area, sorry. This is not area. This is length we are looking for. So it's just centimeter. Claim that. Just put centimeter. It's only area you use centimeters square. That is that. So this is solution to correction of the assignment number one. Take note of it. Go through it in case you make mistake in your work. I was unable to mark it today because of the program we had in school. So you can still look at it in case there's mistake in the one you have done before. You can correct it. On Monday, I'll mark everything. Then number two gave similar question to number one, but this time around they gave the area. So the area of this parallelogram, remember, area of parallelogram according to our formula we said is base times height. So area is base times height. And now area is given as 96. The question say A is equals to 96. So A is 96 cm square. That is the area. Then it gave the base, that is the B now in the formula. B is 12, which is 12 centimeter. Now that A is 96, B is 12. Just put it into your formula of area is equals to base times height, which is 96. 96 is going to be equals to B, which is 12. 12 times H. The next thing now is to divide both sides by 12 so that your H will stand alone. So the next step will be 96 over 12. So 96 over 12 will give us H. And what is the answer of 96 over 12? So this should be 8. Yes, this should be 8, and that will be centimeter because we are looking for length. So this is the solution to the assignment and the classwork. So take note of that. Okay, let's go to the lesson for today, which is area and perimeter of triangle. So as you can see, this is a sketch of a triangle, and this is the height, and this is the base. So you can see the formula for area of a triangle, half base times height. Then the perimeter of a triangle is length plus length plus length. That means all the sides of the triangle must be given. So if I call the three sides length, length, and length, so just add the three sides and it will give you the perimeter. So take note of that. Then for a trapezium, the trapezium have two bases. One is at the bottom, one is at the top. So the formula is similar to that of a triangle, which is half. Then you add the two bases now, which is A for the top, B for the down. That is A, half A plus B times height. So that is the area of a trapezium, half A plus B times height. Then for the perimeter, if I still label L as the four sides of the trapezium, these are the four sides of the trapezium. So just add all the length. So perimeter will be L plus L plus L plus L. So all the total length surrounding the shape is the perimeter. Okay, before we solve example, let me demonstrate something for us so that you remember the relationship between parallelogram, triangle, and trapezium. You remember yesterday, this was the applet I used. So let me do something. Just watch as I explain some things here. So this is a rectangle. This is a rectangle. You can see it. And yesterday, if you remember, I did something. I said a rectangle, the height, which is the length, the height now, that this place that represent the breadth, is always 90 degrees to the base. So that's why we say triangle have 90 degrees as all the angles. Then if this angle that is 90, let me put the angle so that you understand what I'm saying. So this angle at this place, let me use this to explain. You can see it's showing 90. This is 90 degrees. You can see this is 90. So if you move the top now, if I slant this top, you see the way I'm slanting it, it's no more 90 degrees. See, it's now 78.69. So because this is no more 90 degrees, it's no more a rectangle. The name now becomes a parallelogram. So this is how parallelogram is formed. Just bend the 90-degree angle of a rectangle, just slant it a little to one angle, you have a parallelogram. So this was what I explained yesterday. You can take it to this side, you see this is a parallelogram, or to the other side. Then remember the condition, I gave the condition yesterday. The height still remains 90 degrees to the base. That is this one. The height still remains 90 degrees, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. In this case, the height is 5. Now, if this height, let me put the length. If this length now, this length that is 5, when the time is changed and this 90 is changed, we now call it a parallelogram. And that was why, if you remember yesterday, I did something like this. Now I created a line like this. Sorry, let me create my straight line first. I want you to see this. You can try it when you get home so that you understand how this thing is being formed. So if I have my perpendicular, let me create a point outside, something like this. If I have my perpendicular of this line to this, I can actually create a height from here to somewhere here, such that I can hide these other ones, hide this, and this one can move along. You can see it. So as long as this height remains constant, this height is 5. Let me put the length. This height is 5. As long as this height is 5, the area of this, what is it called now? The area of this triangle remains the same, which is 45. So the area remains 45. Just add 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So this is 9 times 5, that is 45. So if I twist the leg, let me move this top. So if I move this top the way I explained it, you can see that this place is no more 5, it's now increased, it's now 5.1 something. Let me make it very long, let's go far. You see, it's now about 7, but this height still maintain 5. You see, but the area did not change. That is because in parallelogram, we only consider the area, we only consider the height times the base, and we say this height must be 90 degrees to this base. So that is one thing I want us to get. Rectangle and parallelogram, they are similar because of these characteristics. See, the height still remains the same anywhere I put it. As long as this shape, as long as this top keep moving like this, the area will not change as long as we maintain that height. You see, the area still remains 45 centimeter square. All right, now this is what I want us to get. If I decide to divide this shape into two now, instead of using this parallelogram, I now cut it into two. Let's cut it into two, something like this. I now cut it like this and divide it like this. You see, I have two triangles now, no more a parallelogram. And remember, we call this place the base. Anywhere parallelogram sit on, we usually call it a base. And this one, we call this the height. So let me label it from the system. So let me put the value of this. Let me put the name, sorry, name and value, that is h. You can see that is the height. So the h is 5, so it will continue to maintain 5 as long as I move along this line. Okay, now I've divided this parallelogram into two. You see a new shape is formed, which is triangle. So if I sketch a triangle on that division line, something like this, something like this, something like this, something like this, you can see that I can erase this part. Let me erase this part. See, and I have a triangle. The angle, let me erase it as well. See, and I have a triangle now. So I don't need this area again because I removed it. See, from parallelogram, a triangle is produced. And the same formula remains the same. This triangle will have area that is 45 divided by 2. If I put it there, you see that 45 divided by 2 will be the area of this triangle. You can see. By the time you divide 45 by 2, you will see that it's giving you 22 and a half, which is 22.5. So this triangle came from half of a parallelogram. So that's one thing I want us to get. And that is why this formula, you can see why the formula says area of a triangle is half base times height, because triangle actually came from half of a parallelogram. triangle came from half of a parallelogram. So that is why we call the area of a triangle half base times height. And we say this height must be 90 degrees. See, that is why in triangle, if you observe, we always draw the line from the top here to the base of the triangle, and it must be 90 degrees. If it's not 90 degrees, the formula will not work. Now watch, if I move this top now, let me shift this one out of the point. If I move this point D out, you see the area change, but if I maintain the same height, see the area will remain 22.5. This is also a triangle. These two slant heights here, you see they have changed, but the area remains the same because I maintain that same height of 5. If I move it to, let me move it to somewhere here. Let me shift the height. Let me draw the height back. So I've maintained the normal height. You see, the area still remains the same. So no matter how your triangle is being drawn, parallelogram is always half of a triangle. So anywhere your triangle is positioned, just know that the height you are using is the height that is 90 degrees to the base. So the triangle is positioned like this. This is the height, 5 times this base, which is 5 times 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. The answer you get divided by 2. That is half base times height. Take note of this. Now, let's move this out. So this triangle, as I said, you can place it anywhere. A triangle is a triangle, the formula remains the same. It will not change. You can make it a right angle triangle, something like this. This is 90 degrees. You can make it a right angle triangle in this side. It's the same thing. So take note of that. Alright, let me delete this. Let me explain trapezium for us. So let's delete all this. Okay, let me leave this height. I don't want to delete let me leave this height. Okay, let me drag it up. You can actually do this at home. As I'm playing around with it, you can do it at home to understand it better in your own way. Now, this triangle we have, remember, I want to get a trapezium. If I need a trapezium, what I need to do is easy. Just cut this triangle, cut it in a way that the line that cut it is parallel to the base. So if I take a line, let me take a segment, something from here, I draw it to this place. You see this line is parallel to this base. You can see that a trapezium is at the base now. Let me remove this area. Let me remove this area. So if I make a sketch of a polygon from this point to this point to this point to this point, see, to this point, you can see that if I take away this triangle out, watch what will be formed. See, a trapezium is being formed. You can see that a trapezium is formed when you remove the head of a triangle. By the time you cut off the head of a triangle in such a way that this top here, you do it in a way that this top is parallel to the base, you will see that a trapezium is formed. That is how trapezium is being formed. So take note of that. You can see that this is a trapezium gotten from the base of a triangle. Cutting from This is a trapezium you got from cutting off the head of a triangle. So take note of that one. Take note of that. So that is a trapezium. So trapezium is being generated when you remove the head of a triangle and it will give you a neat shape called trapezium. But take note, the condition for trapezium is this side must be parallel to the base. The two bases must be parallel. Let me show us something again on trapezium before we end our lesson for today. Okay, this is what I want to show us. Let me use this app to explain this. So this is an app also that you can easily sketch your trapezium. So let's see something here. Let me go to polygon. Okay, this trapezium. Just watch what I will do here. All right, as I click on the base and drag, just watch. You see, this is my trapezium can either go in any way. You can see if you observe one thing, you will see that
the way it's being done, the parallel side are this place. So this is the parallel side, this top and this base. These are the parallel side. So these two sides does not really need to be parallel in trapezium because it actually came from a triangle. So when you remove the top of a triangle, a trapezium will be formed. So this trapezium actually came from a triangle, something like this, that the top has been removed and triangle is generated. Just something like this. Let me sketch a triangle on top so that you know what I'm talking about. See, something like this. So you can see it. See, something like this. So there's actually a triangle. So by the time you remove that triangle, what will be left underneath now will be a trapezium. So take note of that. All trapezium came from a triangle. All trapezium came from a triangle. So that's one thing I want us to take note of. So very, very important. All trapezium came from a triangle. So don't forget that. So this is just the demonstration I want us to see. So that is that. Alright, let's end the lesson today. So this is a trapezium. If I impute some properties, let's see something. If you see parallel, if I click on parallel, you will see the two parallel side. So these two sides are not parallel, it's only the top and the down. So these are the base. So the small base, we usually call it A, while the big base, we call it B. So if I move one of these points, you see this is also a trapezium. See, this is trapezium. As long as the opposite side are not all parallel and equal, it's a trapezium. So this is a trapezium as well. I can move this place like this. This is a trapezium. See, so just remember one property of trapezium. Opposite side, you have one pair of parallel side. So you have one single pair of parallel side. So this side must be parallel to this side. So that is one major property of trapezium. So this is also a trapezium, and it actually came from a triangle. By the time you remove the top of a triangle, what will be formed will be a trapezium. That is all I have to demonstrate this. So let's go to our lesson now and end today's lesson. Okay, now as been said, area of a triangle is half base times height, which is gotten from half of a parallelogram. You divide parallelogram into two, a triangle is formed. Then perimeter, just to add all the lengths surrounding it. So don't forget that. Just know the values of all the lengths, add the three lengths, so you get your perimeter. While for trapezium, since it came from triangle, the top is being cut off, so it has two bases. One is at the top, which is called small letter A. Another base is down, which is called small letter B. So you must add the two bases. That is why it has similar formula like triangle. It still have base times height, but the base are two, one under, one on top. So you now say a trapezium is half base times height. To be the base, there are two, so you need to add the two of them, A plus B. Then perimeter is just to add all the lengths surrounding the shape. That one is very easy. So that is what I label as LLL. So just add all the lengths surrounding the shape. Take note, these L are not equal. I'm just using it as an example that all these lengths surrounding the shape is L. So by the time you add them, it will give you your perimeter. So today this is the example I have in today's class. So I will not waste time in explaining this. You see the triangle is turned. So no matter how a triangle is turned, your own is look for the height that is 90 degrees to the base. So this triangle now, 8 is the base. It's just that the triangle was rotated. Forget whether they rotate it or not. The major thing is just look for the height that is 90 degrees. That was why I demonstrated it the other time. So that you saw the way the height was moving along the system when I was using the GeoGebra app. So just make sure the height is 90 degrees. So 5 is 90 degrees to 8. So the simple solution to this question is area of a triangle is what now? It's 1 over 2 base times height. So this is the formula. Now they give us base as what? If you look at the diagram, base is 8 because 8 is the 90 degrees to 5. So which is 1 over 2 times 8. Then times what now? Times 5. So take note of that. So by the time you solve this very well, say 2 here is 1, 2 into 8 is 4. So which is 1 times 4 times 5, and the answer for this area is 20. 20. Don't forget to put the square in the unit. So this is the area. Then the question says calculate area and perimeter. As I said before, perimeter is just to add all the length surrounding it. So we can start from 6 plus 7 plus 8. So these are the lengths surrounding the triangle: 6, 7, and 8. So when you add them, 6 plus 7 will give us what? This will give us 13. Then we now have 13 plus 8. So this one will give us 20 what now? It will give us 21. So take note of that. 6 plus 7, 13. 13 plus 8 will give us 21. Don't forget, perimeter does not have square. It's just cm. It's a single length. So this is the simple calculation to this. By the time you understand all these things I just did using that applet, your work will be easy for you. So take note, click on the link I will send to the Google Classroom. Click on that link, play around with this applet, do your own manipulation, watch this video, see the way I did my own manipulation with the applet. It will help you to understand it better. You can even do something that I not even do in my own lesson, and in that way you are understanding it in your own way. So the last example for today is this one. It said if the area of a trapezium is 150, so I don't need to draw any trapezium, just know the area of trapezium. The area of trapezium is what? We have said it before, is 1 over 2, open bracket, add the two bases. We call one of the base A, we call one of the base B, then multiply by your height, which is h. So if this is my area and the question says something, it said this area is given as 150. So your own is to quietly remove your area, replace it with 150. So you are solving simple equation now. Equals to what? 1 over 2. See the way I'm solving it. Open your bracket. Then if you continue with the question, it says calculate the height. So you are looking for h. Calculate the height if its parallel sides are 7 and 8. Remember, the parallel side are the base of a trapezium. The parallel side are the base. So since 7 and 8 are the parallel side, so and we say the smallest base is the A, which is 7, then the biggest base is the B, and in this case is 8. Then times it by h. So you know how to solve this now. 150 is what? So you need to multiply, you need to add your bracket 7 plus 8. This will give us 15. So you get your 1 over 2 times 15, then times your h. You can see that it now looks like area of a triangle after adding the two bases. So now that you are through with this, the next thing is to finish your calculation. It's for you to finish your calculation. So what are we going to do? You can solve this thing in two ways. You can do 1 times 15 times h. Let me solve it in that way. It will give me 15h. So this one will be equals to 150 equals to 15h. So 150 equals to 15h over 2. Then remember your equation. Let me end it in this place. Let me draw a line. Let me end it here. So if I do 2, I need to cross over with 2. If I do 2 times 150, remember how we explain equation in class. So 2 need to cross over here, that divide. When divide cross over, it becomes multiplication. So that's 150 times 2 equals to 15h. Equal to 15h. So 150 times 2, when you times it, it will give us what? This will give us 300. So 300 equals to 15h. Now finally divide by 15, which is 300 divided by 15. By now we should be used to all these my equation techniques, because right from equation, word problem, these are the things I've been explaining in this class. I even use graphable math to explain all this. So with this, you will see that there's no problem in the calculation. So please take note of that. So by the time you divide 150 divided by 300, this one will give us 20. So that is 20. So therefore now, h, final answer for h is equals to 20. So the height of this trapezium now in this question is 20 centimeter. So that is that. So please take note of all the explanation. Take your time and go through the video. You know, yesterday we could not meet because of our program. So it will help you to understand this lesson very, very well. On Monday, we are supposed to move to curved lines, which is circle. Plane shapes with curved lines, which is circle. How do we get their area and their perimeter? So this is all for today's lesson. Do this classwork. I'm not doing the correction of this. Do this classwork. Do the assignment. Go to your maths textbook. Get the pages. Page 118. Remember, this is New General Maths textbook, not the checkpoint one. So get the textbook, get the page, get the number. Exercise 14D, number 1B, 1D, 1J, 2D, and 2E. You all see it in the textbook. Do the assignment, do the classwork. It will help you to understand the topic very, very well. So that is all for today's lesson, which is last lesson for the week, Friday, and that is lesson 4. So thank you for watching and following this video. Don't forget, once again, use the link in the Google Classroom, the GeoGebra Classic link. It will help you to understand all I did in this class to get the area and the perimeter of a triangle and trapezium. So that is all for today's lesson. Thank you for watching this video. Do have a nice day.